Scary Stories of Betrayal by Fake Friends 1. The Whispering Shadows. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, a group of friends, Clara, Jenna, and Mike, had always been inseparable. They shared secrets, dreams, and even dark fears. But one crisp autumn evening, their camaraderie was put to the test. Clara, who had always been the most trusting of the group, found herself at the center of a cruel prank. Jenna, the seemingly sweet and quiet one, had convinced Clara to visit an old, abandoned house on the edge of town. Clara, eager to prove her bravery, agreed despite her growing unease. As they entered the decrepit house, Clara was struck by an oppressive silence. The windows were boarded up, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Jenna and Mike's playful jabs turned into chilling whispers, and Clara began to feel a cold shiver run down her spine. Suddenly, Clara realized that Jenna and Mike were no longer by her side. The air grew colder, and the whispers transformed into mocking laughter. Clara stumbled through the dark, her heart pounding, until she found a mirror with a message scrawled across it in crimson paint. "You were never one of us." Panic surged through her as she frantically searched for her friends, but they were nowhere to be found. It was then that Clara understood the truth. Jenna and Mike had orchestrated the entire thing, luring her into the house for their amusement. They wanted to see how far they could push her fear. When Clara finally escaped, she was left with more than just bruised nerves. The betrayal cut deeper than any physical harm could. She never spoke to Jenna or Mike again, and the memory of that night haunted her dreams, a chilling reminder of the cruelty masked behind friendship. 2. The Unseen Saboteur. Sam was a gifted artist, known for his incredible talent and kind nature. His closest friend, Kyle, always claimed to be Sam's biggest fan. They spent countless hours discussing art and future projects, with Kyle often offering support and encouragement. However, Kyle's admiration was not as genuine as it seemed. In reality, Kyle harbored a deep-seated jealousy of Sam's success. Unable to bear being overshadowed, Kyle began to subtly sabotage Sam's work. Paintings were damaged, sketches went missing, and crucial deadlines were missed, all seemingly accidental mishaps that Sam struggled to understand. One night, Sam discovered an old journal hidden in Kyle's room during a visit. The journal was filled with venomous entries detailing Kyle's envy and his plans to ruin Sam's career. Kyle had been using Sam's trust to systematically undermine him, all while pretending to be the supportive friend. Sam confronted Kyle, who confessed with a chilling calmness. The betrayal left Sam shattered, not just because of the sabotage, but because of the realization that someone he considered a brother could harbor such ill intentions. Sam cut ties with Kyle and moved on, but the trust he once held for people was forever tainted by the deceit. 3. The Silent Betrayal. Emma and Lily had been best friends since childhood. They shared everything from school secrets to family troubles. But as they grew older, Lily's behavior began to change. She started distancing herself, often canceling plans and avoiding deep conversations. Emma's attempts to reconnect were met with vague excuses and half-hearted apologies. She felt a growing sense of alienation but hoped that their bond would endure. One day, Emma discovered that Lily had been spreading malicious rumors about her to their entire social circle, painting Emma as someone she was not. The betrayal cut deeply, not just because of the lies, but because of Lily's silent manipulation. Emma found herself ostracized and isolated from friends she once cherished. The damage was so profound that it took years for Emma to rebuild her social circle and trust in others. Lily's betrayal taught Emma a harsh lesson about the fragility of trust and the ease with which someone close can turn into a shadowy adversary. Despite the pain, Emma emerged stronger, learning to guard her heart while remaining open to genuine connections. 4. The Inherited Curse. Mia and Lisa were business partners, running a small tech startup together. Their friendship seemed solid, built on mutual respect and shared goals. However, as their business began to thrive, Lisa's true colors emerged. Lisa started to take credit for Mia's ideas and made unilateral decisions that jeopardized the company's future. When Mia confronted her, Lisa dismissed her concerns and accused Mia of being difficult. The rift between them widened, and their once thriving business began to crumble under Lisa's reckless management. Desperate to save their venture, Mia investigated Lisa's actions and uncovered a shocking truth. Lisa had been secretly embezzling funds and sabotaging key projects to divert blame and secure a larger share of the profits. The betrayal left Mia devastated, not just because of the financial loss, but because of the loss of trust in someone she had considered a partner and friend. The business failed, and Mia was left to rebuild her life from the wreckage of betrayal. The experience left her wary of forming new partnerships, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurk behind a facade of friendship. 5. The ghost of betrayal. In a small town, Alex and Jordan were known for their close friendship. They were inseparable, often seen together at every social event, and always ready to lend each other a helping hand. However, when Jordan moved away for a new job, Alex felt the loss deeply but wished his friend well. Years later, Alex received a letter from Jordan inviting him to visit and catch up. Excited, Alex traveled to Jordan's new home, only to find an eerie, abandoned house waiting for him. The letter was a trap, and Jordan, having fallen into darkness and criminal activity, had set up Alex as part of a twisted revenge plan. Jordan's message was clear. The betrayal had been premeditated, designed to lure Alex into a dangerous situation. As Alex narrowly escaped the trap, he realized that Jordan had been plotting his downfall for years, using their friendship as a facade to conceal his sinister intentions. The shock of betrayal lingered like a ghost, haunting Alex's every step and casting a shadow over his future relationships. The betrayal of someone he had trusted completely became a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind even the most cherished connections. 6. The double agent. When the tech startup of Nate and Zara hit the big leagues, they celebrated their success together. Zara, who had always been Nate's closest ally, seemed genuinely thrilled about their achievements. But behind the scenes, Zara was playing a dangerous game. Unbeknownst to Nate, Zara had been leaking confidential company information to a rival firm. She was promised a hefty bribe in exchange for insider details that could cripple Nate's business. Zara meticulously orchestrated the leaks, ensuring her actions were undetectable. One fateful day, the rival company launched a series of aggressive attacks, including a campaign that damaged Nate's reputation and stole critical intellectual property. Nate was blindsided, scrambling to save his company from ruin. The revelation of Zara's betrayal came when a whistleblower from the rival firm contacted Nate, offering evidence of Zara's duplicity. The betrayal shattered Nate, not just because of the financial loss, but because the person he had considered a friend had sabotaged him for personal gain. The incident left him wary of trusting anyone in the high-stakes world of business. 7. The poisoned well. Lena and Rachel were close friends who met in college. Their bond grew stronger as they navigated life's ups and downs together. Rachel had always been the more ambitious of the two, and Lena supported her dreams without question. Rachel's ambition led her to a coveted job opportunity that required a relocation. Lena, who was content with her life, offered Rachel a heartfelt farewell, promising to stay in touch despite the distance. However, Rachel had been harboring a hidden agenda. She was envious of Lena's stable and happy life, which she saw as a stark contrast to her own struggles. While Rachel was away, Lena started receiving threatening messages and anonymous harassment aimed at undermining her happiness and stability. Lena's life was turned upside down as her personal and professional worlds crumbled under the weight of the attacks. It was only when Lena uncovered evidence linking Rachel to the harassment that the betrayal was fully realized. Rachel had used her new position and connections to target Lena out of spite and jealousy. The betrayal left Lena grappling with the realization that someone she had considered a confidant could harbor such malice. 8. The deceptive collaborator. Ethan and Daniel had a successful YouTube channel that focused on technology reviews and updates. Their collaboration seemed perfect, with Ethan handling the technical side and Daniel managing the content and promotions. Their channel grew rapidly, attracting a dedicated following. But behind the scenes, Daniel was secretly collaborating with a rival channel, sharing Ethan's strategies and unique content ideas. Daniel's dual allegiance was motivated by a mix of greed and competition, as he sought to gain personal advantage by undermining Ethan's success. The betrayal came to light when Ethan discovered that many of his original ideas and scripts were being used by the rival channel, with Daniel's fingerprints all over the theft. The realization that someone he had trusted implicitly was betraying him for personal gain was a crushing blow. Ethan's sense of betrayal not only damaged his business, but also his confidence in partnerships. The experience forced him to rethink his approach to collaborations and to be more cautious about whom he trusted. 9. The silent saboteur. Olivia and Emma were inseparable friends who shared a passion for writing. They collaborated on a book project that they hoped would launch their careers. Olivia, always the more ambitious of the two, promised Emma that they would achieve great success together. However, as the project progressed, Emma began to notice subtle signs of sabotage. Pages of their manuscript went missing, and crucial edits were made without her knowledge. Olivia, who had access to all the files, denied any wrongdoing, leaving Emma confused and frustrated. When the book was finally published, it was met with criticism and failure. Emma's efforts seemed to have been systematically undermined, and she was left to pick up the pieces of a shattered dream. The truth emerged when a mutual acquaintance revealed that Olivia had been using Emma's work as a bargaining chip, sabotaging the project to protect her own interests. The betrayal left Emma devastated, not just because of the professional loss, but because of the personal deception. Olivia's actions shattered Emma's trust and left a scar on her professional and personal life. 10. The hidden agenda. In their high school years, Maya and Stephanie were known for their close friendship. They were inseparable, sharing everything from study notes to weekend plans. Maya admired Stephanie's outgoing personality and felt secure in their bond. As they entered college, Stephanie began to change. She started distancing herself from Maya and spending more time with a new group of friends. Maya was initially puzzled, but hoped it was just a phase. However, Stephanie's new friends were actually planning to exploit Maya's academic success for their own gain. Stephanie, motivated by a mix of jealousy and desire for acceptance, covertly shared Maya's academic strategies and research with her new group. They used this information to advance their own standings, while Maya struggled with unexpected academic challenges. The betrayal was exposed when Maya discovered that her work had been used to undermine her achievements. The realization that Stephanie had been part of the scheme was a crushing blow. The trust Maya had placed in Stephanie was shattered, leaving her to navigate the betrayal and rebuild her confidence. These stories highlight the many ways in which betrayal by fake friends can manifest, from sabotage and manipulation to deceit and betrayal for personal gain. Each story underscores the profound impact such betrayals can have on trust, relationships, and personal well-being. You said. 11. The financial fall. Chris and Alex had been best friends since college, sharing a passion for entrepreneurship. They decided to pool their resources and start a business together, believing that their combined skills would lead to success. Alex, with his charisma and business acumen, was the public face of the company, while Chris handled the financial side. For years, their partnership flourished. Chris trusted Alex implicitly, believing their friendship was solid. However, as the company grew, Alex began to embezzle funds, siphoning off money to support a lavish lifestyle. He created false financial reports to conceal his theft, leaving Chris completely unaware. The betrayal was exposed when auditors uncovered discrepancies in the financial records. Chris's world collapsed as he realized that Alex had been stealing from the company and manipulating financial statements to cover his tracks. The financial loss was devastating, but the emotional betrayal was even more profound. Chris had to rebuild the business from scratch and confront the painful reality that his closest friend had been deceiving him for years. 12. The manipulated trust. Liam and Sarah had a close-knit friendship built on years of mutual support. They confided in each other about their personal lives and trusted one another completely. Sarah, who had always been a strong, supportive friend, seemed like a rock in Liam's turbulent life. When Liam went through a rough patch and needed financial help, Sarah offered to lend him money, promising that it would be a temporary measure until he got back on his feet. Liam, feeling vulnerable, accepted her help gratefully. However, Sarah had a hidden agenda. She used the situation to manipulate Liam into making decisions that benefited her. Sarah subtly influenced Liam's financial choices, convincing him to make investments that favored her own interests. When Liam eventually discovered that Sarah had been exploiting his trust for her gain, the betrayal hit hard. Not only did he face financial loss, but he also grappled with the realization that someone he had leaned on in a time of need had been scheming against him. 13. The betrayed artistic vision. Julia and Emma were artists who had collaborated on a series of gallery exhibitions. Their partnership had been successful, and their unique styles complemented each other perfectly. Julia admired Emma's creative vision and often deferred to her in their joint projects. However, as their fame grew, Emma began to resent Julia's growing popularity. Emma started to take credit for Julia's contributions, presenting their joint works as her solo creations. Julia, initially oblivious to the change, noticed that her work was being showcased under Emma's name alone. The betrayal came to light when Julia saw one of their pieces featured in a prominent art magazine with Emma's name as the sole artist. Julia confronted Emma, who admitted to taking credit for the work and manipulating the situation to her advantage. The betrayal not only harmed Julia's reputation, but also deeply wounded her trust in collaborative relationships. 14. The poisoned social circle. Tom and Jake were inseparable friends who shared everything from social outings to personal secrets. Jake had always been the more outgoing of the two, and Tom admired his charisma and social skills. However, Jake's seemingly friendly demeanor masked a hidden agenda. Jake began to subtly undermine Tom's social standing, spreading false rumors and gossip that tarnished Tom's reputation. He used their friendship as a cover for his machinations, convincing others that Tom was untrustworthy and unreliable. Tom, unaware of the sabotage, found himself increasingly isolated from their shared social circle. The betrayal was exposed when a mutual friend revealed Jake's manipulative actions. Tom was devastated to learn that someone he had considered his closest friend was deliberately destroying his social life. The experience left Tom feeling betrayed and isolated, struggling to rebuild trust and mend the damage caused by Jake's deceit. 15. The undermining mentor. Sophia and Rachel were mentee and mentor in a prestigious academic program. Rachel had always been a supportive mentor, offering guidance and encouragement to Sophia. Sophia admired Rachel's expertise and was grateful for her support. However, as Sophia's research began to gain attention, Rachel grew envious of her success. Rachel started to subtly undermine Sophia's work, taking credit for her ideas and presenting them as her own. She manipulated situations to make Sophia appear less competent in comparison. The betrayal came to light when an academic journal published an article with Rachel's name as the author, using ideas and research that originated with Sophia. Sophia was stunned to discover that her mentor had been sabotaging her career to protect her own position. The betrayal not only affected Sophia's professional growth, but also shattered her trust in mentorship relationships. 16. The deceitful helper. Anna and Michelle were friends who had met through a community volunteer group. Michelle, who was known for her helpfulness, often assisted Anna with various tasks and projects. Anna appreciated Michelle's support and considered her a trusted friend. When Anna started a new business venture, she relied on Michelle's help to manage some of the initial logistics. However, Michelle saw an opportunity to exploit Anna's trust. She deliberately mishandled crucial tasks, causing delays and complications that jeopardized the success of the venture. The betrayal was revealed when Anna discovered that Michelle had been deliberately sabotaging her efforts to undermine her business. The realization that someone she had relied on for support was actively working against her left Anna feeling deeply betrayed. The experience taught her a harsh lesson about the dangers of misplaced trust. 17. The malicious rival. In their high school days, Emily and Laura were best friends who shared a passion for theater. They collaborated on numerous school plays and projects, with Emily often taking the lead role, while Laura provided behind-the-scenes support. As they prepared for their biggest school production, Laura began to feel overshadowed by Emily's growing popularity. Driven by jealousy, Laura started to undermine Emily's performance by spreading false rumors about her behavior and sabotaging rehearsals. She used her insider knowledge to subtly hinder Emily's chances of success. The betrayal was exposed when Emily discovered Laura's role in the sabotage. Laura's actions not only damaged Emily's performance, but also tarnished her reputation. The emotional impact of the betrayal was profound, leaving Emily to grapple with the realization that someone she had considered a close friend had been working against her. 18. The opportunistic colleague. Ethan and Sarah were colleagues working on a high-stakes project at their firm. They had always maintained a professional relationship, but had shared a mutual respect for each other's work. Ethan, who had been more experienced, often guided Sarah through challenging tasks. However, Sarah began to see Ethan's guidance as an opportunity to advance her own career at his expense. She started to withhold critical information, misrepresent Ethan's contributions in meetings, and take credit for his ideas. Her goal was to position herself as the standout employee while undermining Ethan's achievements. The betrayal became evident when Ethan's contributions were recognized by senior management under Sarah's name. The deceit left Ethan not only professionally compromised, but also personally hurt. He struggled with the realization that a colleague he had tried to help had used his trust to advance her own agenda at his expense. 19. The sabotage journey. Max and Oliver were adventurers at heart, always planning new trips and exploring unknown places together. Their latest dream was to embark on a long hiking expedition across a remote wilderness. Oliver, who was known for his meticulous planning, assured Max that everything was prepared for their journey. However, as the expedition progressed, Max started to notice signs of deliberate sabotage. Essential gear was missing or damaged, maps were altered, and Oliver's behavior became increasingly erratic. It became clear that Oliver had been deliberately undermining their adventure, driven by a desire to prove himself as the more capable adventurer. The betrayal was fully realized when Max discovered that Oliver had intentionally misled him about the trail conditions, putting their safety at risk. The trust Max had in Oliver as a reliable partner was shattered, leaving him to navigate the dangerous terrain and confront the harsh reality of his friend's deceit. 20. The undermined artist. Sophia and Mia were artists who shared a studio space and often collaborated on exhibitions. Mia, a rising star in the art world, had always admired Sophia's unique style and often sought her input on projects. Their partnership seemed harmonious, with mutual respect and support. However, Mia began to secretly undermine Sophia's reputation out of jealousy. She spread false information about Sophia's work, claiming it was derivative and unoriginal. Maya used her growing influence in the art community to discredit Sophia, aiming to steal the spotlight for herself. Sophia discovered the betrayal when she found disparaging reviews and comments about her work that were traced back to Mia's influence. The revelation not only damaged Sophia's career, but also destroyed her trust in collaborative relationships. The betrayal was a harsh lesson in the lengths to which jealousy could drive someone to harm. 21. The hidden agenda. Jessica and Emily were business partners who ran a successful event planning company. They had built their business from the ground up, relying on each other's strengths to achieve their goals. Jessica, who managed client relationships, was instrumental in their success. However, Emily harbored a hidden agenda. She had been negotiating secret deals with clients, siphoning off business and diverting funds to her own accounts. Emily used her position to manipulate situations, ensuring that her personal gains came at the expense of their shared business. The betrayal was exposed when Jessica discovered discrepancies in the company's financial records and uncovered Emily's secret dealings. The revelation not only jeopardized their business, but also shattered the trust they had built over years. Jessica was left to salvage what remained of their partnership and rebuild from the damage caused by Emily's deceit. 22. The manipulative neighbor. Sarah and Laura were neighbors who had always maintained a friendly relationship. When Sarah faced personal challenges, Laura was there to offer support, providing a listening ear and practical help. Their friendship seemed genuine, with Laura often portraying herself as a selfless friend. However, Laura's true intentions were far from altruistic. She used Sarah's vulnerability to manipulate and exploit her. Laura secretly spread personal details about Sarah's life to others, using the information to manipulate Sarah into making decisions that benefited Laura. The betrayal came to light when Sarah discovered that Laura had been using her personal struggles as leverage to gain favors and manipulate situations. The realization that her neighbor had been deceiving her for personal gain was deeply unsettling, leaving Sarah to navigate the fallout and reassess her trust in others. 23. The deceptive leader. James and Robert were part of a local community group dedicated to social causes. James, known for his leadership skills, led various initiatives with Robert as his right-hand man. Their collaborative efforts seemed successful, with their projects making a positive impact in the community. However, Robert began to feel overshadowed by James's leadership and decided to undermine him. He subtly sabotaged James's projects, spreading misinformation and creating obstacles that hindered their progress. Robert's goal was to position himself as the true leader while discrediting James. The betrayal was exposed when community members brought to light Robert's manipulative actions and the damage caused to James's initiatives. The revelation not only affected their community work, but also left James feeling betrayed by someone he had trusted as a close ally. The experience taught James a harsh lesson about the dangers of deceit within leadership roles. 24. The academic saboteur. Grace and Lisa were students who had always been competitive but friendly. They'd both aspired to achieve top grades and gain recognition in their academic field. Their rivalry was friendly until Lisa began to use unethical tactics to gain an edge. Lisa started to sabotage Grace's academic efforts by spreading false rumors about her performance, tampering with her research submissions, and undermining her presentations. She hoped that by discrediting Grace, she could secure a higher position for herself. The betrayal became evident when Grace faced unexpected academic challenges and discovered Lisa's role in the sabotage. The emotional impact of realizing that someone she had considered a friendly rival was actively working against her was profound, leading Grace to reevaluate her trust in academic competition and collaboration. 25. The fake advocate. Tom and Eric were close friends who shared a passion for environmental activism. They worked together on various campaigns and initiatives, with Tom often taking on a leadership role while Eric provided support and advocacy. Their partnership seemed strong, united by a common cause. However, Eric was secretly working against Tom's efforts. He covertly undermined their campaigns by leaking sensitive information to opposing groups and sabotaging key events. Eric's goal was to discredit Tom and take credit for the success of the initiatives for himself. The betrayal was exposed when Tom uncovered evidence of Eric's actions and the damage done to their campaigns. The realization that someone who had portrayed himself as an advocate for the same cause was actively working to sabotage their efforts was a crushing blow. Tom faced the challenge of rebuilding trust and continuing the fight for their cause despite the betrayal. 26. The stolen dream. Emily and Vanessa had been best friends since childhood, sharing a passion for fashion design. They dreamed of opening their own boutique and often discussed their plans in detail. Vanessa seemed supportive, helping Emily with designs and brainstorming ideas. As their plans started to materialize, Vanessa began to feel envious of Emily's growing recognition in the fashion world. Fueled by jealousy, Vanessa secretly started her own boutique using the designs and concepts they had developed together. She presented the boutique as her own creation, taking credit for Emily's hard work. The betrayal came to light when Emily saw her own designs being featured prominently in Vanessa's boutique, with Vanessa's name attached. Emily was devastated to realize that someone she had trusted with her dreams had stolen and claimed them as her own. The experience shattered her trust and forced her to reconsider her approach to partnerships. 27. The malicious advisor. James and Sarah had a close professional relationship, with James serving as Sarah's mentor in her budding career. James offered guidance and support, helping Sarah navigate the challenges of her industry. Their relationship seemed mutually beneficial and built on trust. However, James harbored resentment towards Sarah's growing success. He began to subtly sabotage her opportunities by providing misleading advice, intentionally directing her towards less promising projects and undermining her confidence. The betrayal was revealed when Sarah's peers and colleagues started questioning her decisions and progress. Sarah discovered that James had been deliberately steering her away from lucrative opportunities. The realization that her mentor had been working against her was deeply disheartening, affecting both her career and her trust in mentorship. 28. The falsified friendship. Liam and Mark had been friends since high school, with Mark always presenting himself as the dependable and supportive friend. As they grew older, their friendship seemed unbreakable, with Mark often helping Liam through tough times. However, Mark was secretly working against Liam. He spread false rumors about Liam's character and manipulated situations to create conflicts and misunderstandings. Mark's goal was to isolate Liam from their social circle and undermine his reputation. The betrayal was exposed when Liam noticed a pattern of falsehoods and conflicts being orchestrated against him. He discovered Mark's role in the deceit and manipulation. The realization that someone he had trusted implicitly was behind the efforts to tarnish his reputation was a painful blow, leaving Liam to rebuild his social connections and self-esteem. 29. The hidden saboteur. Olivia and Claire were colleagues who worked closely on a significant project at their firm. Olivia admired Claire's skills and often praised her work, while Claire appeared to be a reliable and supportive team member. Unbeknownst to Olivia, Claire was secretly undermining the project's success. She deliberately withheld crucial information, misrepresented progress, and manipulated situations to create obstacles. Her goal was to discredit Olivia and take credit for the project's achievements. The betrayal became evident when Olivia faced numerous setbacks and discovered Claire's role in the sabotage. The realization that someone she had trusted and relied upon was working against her was both professionally and personally devastating. Olivia had to navigate the fallout and confront the betrayal to salvage the project. 30. The disguised betrayer. Samantha and Rachel were co-founders of a non-profit organization dedicated to community service. Their partnership was based on shared values and a commitment to helping others. Rachel, known for her charm and leadership, often represented the organization in public. However, Rachel began to use her position for personal gain. She diverted funds from the organization for her own use, manipulated donor relationships to benefit herself, and undermined Samantha's efforts. Rachel's charm and outward support masked her deceitful actions. The betrayal was uncovered when financial discrepancies and misuse of funds were revealed. Samantha discovered Rachel's fraudulent activities and the extent of her manipulation. The realization that someone she had trusted with the organization's mission had been exploiting it for personal gain was a harsh blow, forcing Samantha to address the damage and rebuild the organization's integrity. 31. The deceptive team member. John and Lily worked together on a crucial team project. John, known for his expertise and reliability, often took the lead in their assignments, while Lily appeared to be a supportive and diligent team member. Their collaboration seemed seamless and productive. However, Lily was secretly sabotaging John's efforts. She misrepresented his contributions, manipulated data to make it appear as though John's work was flawed, and took credit for his ideas. Her goal was to undermine John's reputation and advance her own standing within the company. The betrayal was exposed when John discovered discrepancies in the project's data and the manipulation of his contributions. The realization that Lily had been working against him while pretending to be a supportive colleague was a painful shock. John had to navigate the fallout and address the damage caused by Lily's deceit. 32. The envious classmate. Sophia and Karen were classmates who had always been competitive but friendly. Karen, who had always envied Sophia's academic achievements, began to use underhanded tactics to gain an edge in their studies. Karen spread false rumors about Sophia's work ethic, tampered with her study materials, and attempted to discredit her in front of their professors. Her goal was to overshadow Sophia and secure a higher standing for herself. The betrayal was revealed when Sophia discovered the extent of Karen's actions and the falsehoods being spread about her. The realization that her classmates' envy had led to deliberate sabotage was both disheartening and damaging to her academic standing. Sophia had to address the betrayal and deal with the emotional impact of being targeted by someone she had considered a peer. 33. The fabricated ally. Nina and Lisa were allies in a local political campaign, working together to promote their candidate and advocate for their cause. Lisa was known for her strong connections and persuasive abilities, while Nina contributed valuable insights and support. However, Lisa began to use her influence to undermine Nina's contributions. She spread misinformation about Nina's role, took credit for her ideas, and manipulated situations to present herself as the sole driving force behind the campaign's successes. The betrayal came to light when Nina discovered evidence of Lisa's manipulation and deceit. The realization that someone she had trusted and relied upon for support was actively working to discredit her was a severe blow, affecting both her professional standing and her trust in collaborative efforts. 34. The betrayed supporter. Andrew and Mark had a close friendship built on mutual respect and support. When Andrew decided to start a new venture, Mark eagerly offered his help and advice, presenting himself as a supportive friend. However, Mark was secretly working against Andrew's success. He spread false information about the venture, undermined Andrew's efforts, and used his insider knowledge to sabotage critical aspects of the project. His goal was to see Andrew fail and prove his own superiority. The betrayal was exposed when Andrew noticed the damage being done to his venture and discovered Mark's role in the sabotage. The realization that a friend he had relied upon was actively working against him was deeply distressing, forcing Andrew to confront the betrayal and navigate the challenges caused by Mark's deceit. 35. The tarnished reputation. Maya and Jenna had been close friends since college, sharing a strong bond and supporting each other through various personal and professional challenges. When Maya started a new business, Jenna seemed genuinely excited and offered to help with marketing and networking. However, Jenna harbored resentment towards Maya's success. Behind the scenes, she started spreading false rumors about the quality of Maya's products and services. Jenna's goal was to damage Maya's reputation and undermine her business to make herself look better in comparison. The betrayal was revealed when Maya discovered that the negative reviews and gossip about her business were traced back to Jenna's influence. The realization that someone she had trusted to help her succeed was actively working to harm her was a harsh blow. Maya had to work hard to repair her business's reputation and address the emotional fallout of Jenna's betrayal. 36. The secret saboteur. Kyle and Matt were co-founders of a tech startup, working together to develop innovative products. Kyle was responsible for the technical development, while Matt handled business operations and client relations. Their partnership seemed strong, with mutual respect and trust. However, Matt began to feel overshadowed by Kyle's technical expertise. Driven by jealousy, Matt started to secretly undermine Kyle's work. He tampered with product designs, withheld important client feedback, and created obstacles in the development process. The betrayal became evident when the startup faced significant setbacks and product failures. Kyle discovered that Matt had been sabotaging their work to make himself look more indispensable. The realization that a trusted co-founder was actively working against him was a devastating blow, forcing Kyle to address the damage and rebuild trust within the company. 37. The false ally. Emma and Rachel were close friends who shared a passion for community activism. Rachel often presented herself as Emma's biggest supporter, helping with organizing events and advocating for causes they both cared about. However, Rachel had her own agenda. She used her position to manipulate Emma's efforts, taking credit for the success of their initiatives and secretly working against Emma's interests. Rachel sought to elevate her own profile while diminishing Emma's contributions. The betrayal was exposed when Emma discovered that Rachel had been misrepresenting their joint efforts and undermining her work. The realization that someone who had claimed to be an ally was actively sabotaging her efforts was a severe blow, forcing Emma to reassess her approach to collaboration and trust in the activist community. 38. The false friend. Tom and Nick were childhood friends who had stayed close throughout their adult lives. Tom had always supported Nick in his various ventures and personal challenges. Nick seemed like a reliable friend, but he harbored feelings of envy towards Tom's success. Nick began to subtly sabotage Tom's professional endeavors by spreading false information, undermining his reputation, and creating conflicts within his network. Nick's goal was to diminish Tom's success and elevate his own standing. The betrayal was revealed when Tom noticed a pattern of negative publicity and conflict surrounding his work. He discovered that Nick was behind the deceitful tactics. The realization that a lifelong friend was working against him was a painful shock, forcing Tom to confront the betrayal and rebuild his professional and personal trust. 39. The manipulated success. Laura and Chloe were business partners in a successful design firm. Their partnership was built on mutual respect and a shared vision for their company. Chloe, known for her business acumen, often handled client relations, while Laura focused on creative design. However, Chloe began to feel overshadowed by Laura's growing acclaim. Driven by jealousy, Chloe started to sabotage Laura's efforts by taking credit for her designs, manipulating client feedback, and undermining her creative contributions. The betrayal was exposed when Laura discovered discrepancies in client feedback and realized that Chloe had been misrepresenting her work. The realization that a trusted business partner was actively working against her was a significant blow, forcing Laura to address the damage and rebuild trust within the company. 40. The envious peer. Sarah and Lisa were colleagues in a competitive industry, both striving for recognition and success. While they maintained a cordial relationship, Lisa secretly envied Sarah's achievements and sought to undermine her progress. Lisa began to spread false rumors about Sarah's professionalism, manipulated situations to create conflicts, and took credit for Sarah's contributions. Her goal was to diminish Sarah's reputation and secure a higher standing for herself. The betrayal became apparent when Sarah noticed a decline in her professional relationships and discovered Lisa's role in the deceit. The realization that a seemingly friendly peer was actively working against her was a harsh lesson, forcing Sarah to navigate the fallout and rebuild her professional image. 41. The trust betrayed. Anna and Rachel had been friends for years, sharing personal secrets and supporting each other through various life events. Rachel was known for her empathy and understanding, making her seem like a trustworthy confidant. However, Rachel used the personal information she had about Anna to manipulate situations and gain favors. She spread private details to others to leverage them for her own advantage, betraying Anna's trust in the process. The betrayal was revealed when Anna discovered that her personal information was being used against her. The realization that someone she had trusted with her most intimate details was exploiting her for personal gain was deeply upsetting, forcing Anna to reassess her relationships and trust in others. 42. The career saboteur. David and Michael were colleagues working on a major project at their firm. David was known for his expertise and dedication, while Michael appeared to be a supportive team member. Their collaboration seemed productive and successful. However, Michael began to feel overshadowed by David's contributions. Driven by envy, he started to subtly sabotage David's efforts by misrepresenting his work, creating obstacles, and spreading false information about his performance. The betrayal became evident when David faced unexpected setbacks and discovered Michael's role in the sabotage. The realization that a colleague he had relied upon was actively working against him was a significant blow, affecting both his career and personal trust. 43. The disloyal partner. Rebecca and Lisa were business partners who had built a successful venture together. Rebecca, who handled operations, trusted Lisa implicitly with client relations and business development. Their partnership seemed strong, with mutual respect and shared goals. However, Lisa began to exploit her position for personal gain. She diverted business opportunities to her own ventures, misrepresented their partnership's achievements, and manipulated client relationships to benefit herself. The betrayal was exposed when Rebecca discovered Lisa's deceitful actions and the damage done to their business. The realization that a trusted partner had been working against her was a painful shock, forcing Rebecca to confront the betrayal and rebuild her business. 44. The hidden resentment. Julia and Karen were friends who shared a passion for writing. They'd often collaborated on projects and supported each other's work. Karen seemed to be a supportive friend, but she harbored hidden resentment towards Julia's success. Karen began to undermine Julia's efforts by spreading false information about her work, sabotaging collaborative projects, and taking credit for Julia's ideas. Her goal was to diminish Julia's achievements and elevate her own status as a writer. The betrayal was revealed when Julia discovered the extent of Karen's deceit and manipulation. The realization that someone she had trusted and collaborated with was actively working against her was both disheartening and damaging to her career, forcing Julia to navigate the fallout and rebuild her professional reputation. 45. The exploited trust. Grace and Megan were close friends who shared a passion for social activism. Megan had always presented herself as a dedicated ally, helping Grace with various projects and initiatives. Their friendship seemed genuine, with mutual support and shared goals. However, Megan used her position to exploit Grace's trust. She manipulated situations to benefit herself, spread false rumors to undermine Grace's efforts, and took credit for Grace's achievements. Megan's goal was to advance her own standing while diminishing Grace's impact. The betrayal was exposed when Grace discovered Megan's deceitful actions and the extent of her manipulation. The realization that someone she had trusted implicitly was working against her was a harsh blow, forcing Grace to reassess her approach to activism and collaboration. 46. The underhanded competitor. Lisa and Jenna were aspiring entrepreneurs who had started their own tech startups around the same time. They had a friendly rivalry, often sharing insights and advice. Jenna appeared to be a supportive peer, offering encouragement and sharing resources. However, Jenna secretly envied Lisa's success and began to undermine her efforts. She spread false information about Lisa's products, leaked confidential business strategies to competitors, and manipulated market perceptions to damage Lisa's reputation. The betrayal was revealed when Lisa noticed a series of setbacks and discovered Jenna's involvement in the sabotage. The realization that a seemingly supportive competitor was actively working against her was a crushing blow, forcing Lisa to address the damage and navigate the competitive landscape anew. 47. The deceptive mentor. James and Rachel were involved in a mentorship relationship, with Rachel offering guidance and support to James in his career. Rachel was known for her experience and seemed genuinely invested in helping James succeed. However, Rachel had her own agenda. She used her position to manipulate James's career trajectory, steering him towards projects and opportunities that would benefit her own interests. Rachel's advice was often self-serving, aimed at advancing her own goals rather than truly helping James. The betrayal became apparent when James discovered that Rachel had been prioritizing her own interests over his, leading to missed opportunities and professional setbacks. The realization that his mentor had been deceitful and manipulative was a significant blow, forcing James to reevaluate his career path and trust in mentorship. 48. The saboteur in disguise. Anna and Emily were close friends who shared a passion for event planning. They often collaborated on organizing social events and fundraisers. Emily appeared to be a reliable and supportive friend, helping Anna with various aspects of their projects. However, Emily was secretly sabotaging Anna's efforts. She manipulated event details, spread misinformation to clients, and created conflicts to undermine Anna's work. Emily's goal was to diminish Anna's success and position herself as the more competent planner. The betrayal was exposed when Anna faced numerous issues with their events and discovered Emily's role in the sabotage. The realization that a trusted friend had been working against her was deeply disheartening, forcing Anna to confront the betrayal and rebuild her professional reputation. 49. The hidden manipulator. Sophia and Laura were colleagues who worked together on a major corporate project. Laura, known for her charm and persuasive abilities, seemed like a supportive team member who was genuinely invested in their success. However, Laura began to manipulate situations to her advantage. She took credit for Sophia's contributions, spread false rumors about her performance, and created obstacles to hinder Sophia's progress. Laura's goal was to advance her own career while diminishing Sophia's achievements. The betrayal was revealed when Sophia discovered discrepancies in project credit and feedback. The realization that a seemingly supportive colleague had been working against her was a harsh lesson in the dangers of deception within professional relationships. 50. The jealous collaborator. Ethan and Scene were partners in a creative project, collaborating on a new art exhibition. Scene, who had a reputation for being supportive and enthusiastic, seemed like an ideal partner for Ethan's creative endeavors. However, Scene secretly harbored jealousy towards Ethan's success. He began to undermine Ethan's work by spreading negative comments about his art, manipulating gallery reviews, and taking credit for Ethan's ideas. Scene's goal was to overshadow Ethan and elevate his own profile. The betrayal was exposed when Ethan noticed the negative impact on his exhibition and discovered Scene's role in the sabotage. The realization that a trusted collaborator had been deceitful and manipulative was a painful blow, forcing Ethan to address the fallout and reassess his approach to partnerships. 51. The envious contributor. Rachel and Mia were contributors to a popular blog, working together to produce content and engage with their audience. Mia, known for her enthusiasm and support, seemed like a valuable team member who was dedicated to their shared goals. However, Mia was envious of Rachel's growing popularity and influence. She began to sabotage Rachel's contributions by spreading false information, undermining her work, and taking credit for Rachel's ideas. Mia's goal was to diminish Rachel's success and boost her own profile. The betrayal was revealed when Rachel noticed a decline in her blog engagement and discovered Mia's deceitful actions. The realization that a fellow contributor had been actively working against her was a significant blow, forcing Rachel to address the betrayal and rebuild her standing within the blog community. 52. The misleading supporter. Tom and Peter were friends who often supported each other in their personal and professional lives. When Tom started a new venture, Peter seemed eager to help, offering advice and connections. However, Peter had his own agenda. He used his position to manipulate Tom's efforts, steering him towards less promising opportunities and spreading misinformation. Peter's goal was to undermine Tom's success while advancing his own interests. The betrayal was exposed when Tom faced unexpected setbacks and discovered Peter's role in the manipulation. The realization that someone he had trusted for support was actively working against him was a harsh blow, forcing Tom to confront the betrayal and reassess his approach to seeking advice. 53. The envious artist. Julia and Alice were artists who often collaborated on exhibitions and projects. Their partnership seemed mutually beneficial, with Julia providing creative input while Alice handled logistics and promotion. However, Alice began to feel envious of Julia's success and recognition. She secretly undermined Julia's work by spreading false information about her art, manipulating gallery reviews, and taking credit for Julia's ideas. Alice's goal was to diminish Julia's achievements and elevate her own status. The betrayal was revealed when Julia noticed a pattern of negative feedback and discovered Alice's deceitful actions. The realization that a trusted collaborator had been working against her was deeply upsetting, forcing Julia to navigate the fallout and rebuild her professional reputation. 54. The exploited trust. Emma and Laura were friends who shared a close bond, often confiding in each other and supporting one another through challenges. Laura appeared to be a loyal friend, offering help and advice when needed. However, Laura began to exploit Emma's trust for her own gain. She used personal information to manipulate situations, spread false rumors, and gain favors at Emma's expense. Laura's goal was to advance her own interests while undermining Emma's well-being. The betrayal was exposed when Emma discovered that her personal details were being used against her and that Laura had been deceitful. The realization that a friend she had trusted with her vulnerabilities was exploiting her for personal gain was a profound shock, forcing Emma to reassess her relationships and trust in others. 55. The undermining peer. David and Michael were peers in a competitive work environment, each striving for recognition and advancement. Michael, who appeared to be a supportive colleague, began to secretly undermine David's efforts. Michael spread false information about David's performance, manipulated situations to create conflicts, and took credit for David's contributions. His goal was to diminish David's standing and elevate his own career prospects. The betrayal was revealed when David noticed a pattern of negative feedback and discovered Michael's role in the deceit. The realization that a seemingly supportive peer had been working against him was a harsh lesson, forcing David to address the betrayal and navigate the competitive landscape anew. 56. The secret saboteur. Emily and Rachel had been close friends for years, often collaborating on community projects and supporting each other's goals. When Emily started a non-profit organization, Rachel eagerly offered her help and seemed genuinely supportive. However, Rachel harbored jealousy towards Emily's growing success. She began to subtly undermine Emily's efforts by spreading false information about the organization, misdirecting donors, and creating obstacles in their fundraising efforts. Rachel's goal was to damage Emily's reputation and make herself appear more competent. The betrayal was uncovered when Emily noticed a decline in support and discovered Rachel's deceitful actions. The realization that someone she had trusted with her organization was actively working against her was a devastating blow, forcing Emily to address the damage and rebuild trust with her supporters. 57. The manipulative partner. Ben and Andrew were business partners in a successful venture. They shared responsibilities and decisions equally, with Ben focusing on product development while Andrew handled marketing and client relations. Their partnership seemed solid and supportive. However, Andrew began to feel overshadowed by Ben's achievements. Driven by jealousy, he started to manipulate situations by taking credit for Ben's work, spreading false information about product quality, and undermining Ben's contributions. Andrew's goal was to diminish Ben's success and elevate his own role within the company. The betrayal was exposed when Ben noticed discrepancies in client feedback and project reports. He discovered Andrew's deceitful actions and the extent of his manipulation. The realization that a trusted business partner was working against him was a significant blow, forcing Ben to confront the betrayal and navigate the challenges of rebuilding their business. 58. The two-faced friend. Lisa and Tara had been friends since high school, supporting each other through various personal and academic challenges. Tara seemed like a loyal and supportive friend, often providing emotional support and advice. However, Tara was secretly envious of Lisa's achievements and began to undermine her efforts. She spread false rumors about Lisa's success, manipulated social situations to create conflicts, and took credit for Lisa's accomplishments. Tara's goal was to diminish Lisa's standing and make herself appear more successful. The betrayal was revealed when Lisa noticed a pattern of negativity and discovered Tara's role in the deceit. The realization that a friend she had trusted implicitly was actively working against her was a harsh lesson, forcing Lisa to reassess her friendships and rebuild her confidence. 59. The jealous colleague. Mark and Jane were colleagues who worked closely on a major project. Jane, known for her strong work ethic and expertise, often relied on Mark for support and collaboration. Their teamwork appeared productive and successful. However, Mark began to feel envious of Jane's growing recognition and success. Driven by jealousy, he started to sabotage her efforts by spreading false information about her performance, manipulating project outcomes, and taking credit for her contributions. Mark's goal was to overshadow Jane and advance his own career. The betrayal was uncovered when Jane faced unexpected setbacks and discovered Mark's involvement in the sabotage. The realization that a colleague she had trusted was actively working against her was a significant blow, forcing Jane to address the fallout and navigate the challenges of rebuilding trust in her professional environment. 60. The deceptive friend. Sophia and Melissa were close friends who often shared personal and professional aspirations. Sophia was working on a significant project that required collaboration and support, and Melissa appeared to be a loyal and enthusiastic friend. However, Melissa was secretly working against Sophia. She undermined Sophia's project by spreading false information, misrepresenting her work, and creating obstacles to hinder her progress. Melissa's goal was to damage Sophia's reputation and take credit for the project's successes. The betrayal became apparent when Sophia noticed discrepancies and discovered Melissa's deceitful actions. The realization that a trusted friend was actively working against her was a painful shock, forcing Sophia to confront the betrayal and reassess her approach to collaboration. 61. The hidden agenda. Oliver and Jake were friends who shared a passion for entrepreneurship. When Oliver started a new business venture, Jake appeared to be a supportive ally, offering advice and connections. However, Jake had his own hidden agenda. He used his influence to manipulate Oliver's decisions, steering him towards less promising opportunities and spreading misinformation about his business. Jake's goal was to sabotage Oliver's success while advancing his own interests. The betrayal was exposed when Oliver faced unexpected challenges and discovered Jake's role in the manipulation. The realization that a seemingly supportive friend was actively working against him was a significant blow, forcing Oliver to address the damage and rebuild his business strategy. 62. The envious collaborator. Emily and Claire were collaborators on a creative project, each bringing their unique skills to the table. Their partnership seemed effective, with Emily handling design and Claire focusing on logistics and promotion. However, Claire began to feel envious of Emily's growing acclaim. Driven by jealousy, she started to sabotage Emily's work by misrepresenting her contributions, spreading false information about the project, and taking credit for Emily's ideas. Claire's goal was to diminish Emily's success and enhance her own role. The betrayal was uncovered when Emily noticed a decline in project outcomes and discovered Claire's deceitful actions. The realization that a trusted collaborator was actively working against her was a harsh lesson, forcing Emily to address the betrayal and navigate the challenges of rebuilding her professional reputation. 63. The false ally. David and Lily were friends who often collaborated on social initiatives and community projects. Lily seemed to be a supportive ally, offering help and advice in their shared endeavors. However, Lily used her position to manipulate David's efforts. She spread false information, created conflicts, and undermined David's contributions to make herself appear more competent. Her goal was to advance her own standing while diminishing David's impact. The betrayal was revealed when David discovered the extent of Lily's deceit and manipulation. The realization that someone he had considered a friend and ally was actively working against him was deeply disheartening, forcing David to reassess his approach to collaboration and trust.